Hello, my name is Audrey Gordon, and I'd like to welcome you to day 22 of the Dataverse Advent Calendar. Today, we're going to talk about the beauty of virtual tables. So let me get started by saying that I really love this feature. This is the ability to look at data from another data source, but see it inside of Dataverse as if it lived there. But it does not live there. It's staying in its home where it started, and it's just showing up in Dataverse. And I just think this is awesome because I don't have to use any of my capacity for that data, and I can layer on top of it business logic and build it into forms and use it as lookups. It's just like having the best of both worlds. So for instance, I've got some SharePoint data somewhere where a lot of people are using it. I really don't want to migrate it because it would create a change management issue. And maybe I have some SQL tables that we just love over there in SQL for whatever reason. So let's leave those things there and let's open up a window to them in Dataverse. And what I'm going to show you today is the quick wizard-like experience you have now to bring in virtual tables for SharePoint, for SQL, and for Excel. In the description, you'll see the blog and the overview. This is all early release, so this is like, quiet. This is you getting a chance to see what's coming very soon. And I'm enabling you to test it out right now. Okay, so let's look at this in Power Apps. I'm going to bounce over to my Power Apps. Well, actually, I'm going to show you where you need to start, kind of. So this right now requires an app from AppSource. And so the first place you need to go is to AppSource. And you will do this for each environment that you would like the virtual tables to exist in. Okay, so I'm in Megan's world and I went to AppSource and I did a search for virtual connectors and it comes up right to the top. Virtual connectors in Dataverse. It is free. I just accept all this information and get it now. So now it's going to install that, well, it's going to give me the option to install that for the environments that I want to use it in. So we'll just give it a minute and you'll see this little panel pop out. All right, I need to select the environment, and that's why I say you have to do this for each environment that you want to use it in. Okay, and then you have to agree to all of the legal terminology associated with this app. And then you install it. Again, you do this per environment. When it launches the install, you'll notice that in your list of apps for your environment where you're installing this, it'll be listed there and it will say installing until it's done. Now, once it's installed, it'll say installed, unless it says update available. If you ever see update available, just don't be afraid to go ahead and update that thing that needs updating. We try our best to let you know when updates are available and so that you can just easily install them from this same user interface. So I'm going to wait for it to install and I'll be right back to tell you how to use it. Okay, I'm back and we can see that it has been successfully installed. Now I'm going to go back to Power Apps and I'm going to open my 25 days solution. This is the one we were using earlier in the 25 days videos. I'm going to add a new table because the table doesn't exist in Dataverse yet. So we're going to make a new table from external data. All right. Now, before we click this, we have to enable this pre-release feature. So here's how you do this. So before you click this, look at the description and find the wizard flag. It starts with a question mark. You're going to paste that wizard flag to the end of the URL in your solution. Because you've done that, you can now use this pre-release feature. All right, so you'll see this at the end of your URL. Virtual tables creation equals true. All right. So now you can go back to new table from external data, and you will see the awesome wizard. Okay. So it starts with a connection, and we're going to pick SharePoint right now and hit next. Now I'm going to put the URL of my SharePoint site. I've been using a lot of SharePoint, so it's remembering my last URLs. And so you can just keep using the ones you've been using if that's easier for you. I'm going to use this one. Hit next. And then this is that list we brought in. Remember we migrated this list? Let's see what it looks like when it's as a virtual table. All right, so I just have to select the list from that site. This really couldn't be easier. And then I decide what its name is going to be. And I'm going to change this to apartment lists. And this is because I don't want a confusion with the table that we imported. But you can name it the same, whatever you'd like to name it, right? And then the primary field here is not going to be title. It's actually going to be field 2, if I remember correctly. And let me just check that. Yep, I went back to SharePoint. I want to use this name column here. And is that title? I'm going to go into list settings and just check what the back name is of this. This is field 2. Okay, so that's the one I want. So I'm going to use field 2, okay, because it's going to use those internal names. And then you can map this to exactly what you want it to be. And I'm actually going to match these instead of using that field 2, field 3. Again, that happens when you create SharePoint lists through like a script or something, or sometimes you'll hit that plus sign in SharePoint to create a new column, and it'll give it whatever name it wants to in the back end. So just be aware that this will occasionally happen where your display names in SharePoint do not match. Okay, and I don't want to see this anymore, so I'm going to make my own schema name, which is prefixed by my publisher. All right, then I'm going to hit next. It's going to give me a little validation. So you're taking this from SharePoint and you want it into a table called apartment list. Yeah, that's what I want. Finish. All right, and now what it's doing is it's creating my virtual table. So what did I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 clicks. 5 clicks to creating this. Just 5 clicks, right? So it's amazing how easy this is. Back in the day, you really needed a developer for a virtual table. Now any maker can create a virtual table. So quite amazing technology. I'm going to go ahead and pause, and when it's done, I'll come back. So it's all done, and my solution refreshed shows the new table apartment list. So there's my new table that is in my solution. You also will see it in the Dataverse tables, app lists. And so that's how easy it is. There was 5 wizard-like steps plus a review screen, and we were done. And now we can layer Dataverse logic on top of this. We can add those things to forms. We can create our own composite views. You can even create relationships between your virtual tables and your standard or custom tables. So really a lot of value in doing that. So that's the story for virtual tables. It can't be any easier. You will have this available for SharePoint and SQL and Excel first, and then we're considering other data types. Please put in the Power Apps idea forum any ideas or recommendations you have related to virtual tables, and just make sure you flag them virtual tables in the tags. And we will look at your ideas and consider them as we move forward with the beautiful virtual tables that are now available easily in Dataverse. FYI, you could have always created virtual tables. I mean, that's not a new feature, but this wizard-like experience is, and I know you're going to adore it. So that's all I have for day 22 of the Dataverse Advent Calendar. I look forward to talking to you tomorrow on day 23. Talk to you soon and happy holidays.